Kingsley Hayford is a chartered accountant and an investment banker. He joins me here in the studios. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, Kwaku, thanks.
It's good to see you.
I'm also happy to be here.
Very well.
This is a national call.
Yes, it is, and you're welcome. Finally, let's start off with this. Do we have to get a lockdown? Do you think we need a lockdown?
Let me put it this way. I think that the coronavirus issue impact has affected all economics. And looking at the position of China, being the second largest economy, doing about 14.4 trillion GDP, second to US of about 21.4 thereabout, it tells that China is dealing with everybody. And then you will see that the intensity of the impact is said that you can't run away. Let me put it this way. Ghana's relationship with China has also increased stronger than ever before. We have construction agreement with Sino Hydro issues. A lot of our local traders are also importing left, right. And since January, there have not been much import. It tells you the reduction of the goods that are supposed to come in for the ordinary person to consume or to be part.
Right.
And so if you look at these issues, it brings about three kind of shocks to every economy. There's the supply shock, because the goods will not come in. There's a demand shock, so because people demand and you can't get the goods. And also the market shock, the financial market. People are not investing because they want to raise funds to be able to buy food and also essential drugs. I think at this point, it's not bad. But again, one of the products people may put their funds in will be the gold, which will be the modern safer because it has a history of people doing that. So on the back of that, it brings two kind of issues in terms of direct impact and then also indirect. The direct impact is Ghana's relationship with China. Okay. Because we've been doing business, and in terms of trade and investment, they are here. We are sourcing funds, we are importing, doing business with them. So therefore, surely we are suffering now, as at now. Okay. And then you go to the indirect part, the slow economic growth. Because once China is the second largest economy, and every economy is dealing with China. And so therefore, their bilateral trades and investments is dwindling, everything is going, everybody is shutting down. And so therefore, surely you are going to get the effect, and we are getting from. Currently, I understand the African finance ministers met to look at about $100 billion and all. And also, if you look at the given Ghana situation, in terms of being a high risk, in terms of debt servicing issues, some are even distressed already. So with these issues, I understand. I think this morning I had former Minister of Finance, Tekpe, talking about possibility of Ghana going to IMF to get some funds to support the economy. It tells you that we are in critical times and difficult times. So a lockdown is where the issue, but in terms of the preparedness, how are we prepared when we lock down?
So first of all, do we need a lockdown? Because again, I understand where you're coming from. You're talking figures, you're talking bilateral relationships, whatever it is. But again, we have 39,000 projections of cases on our hands to deal with. And if you lose all of these people, people will not eat. If people are lost and people are wailing in this country, we're not going to be talking about bilateral relationship, would we?
Yes, I understand, because a country is made of people. Without people, there's no country. Right. And so definitely, yes, I understand from the medical points that, the analysis, the modeling is showing that these numbers are going to hit and that we're going to suffer. But on the back of that, while these things are going on, the finance people, the economic management team must come up with a solid strategy immediately to see to it that once there's a lockdown, how do you get the economy running in terms of food and services, essential ones? For example, at this point, I expect the Ministry of Finance or the economic management to have serious discussion with the Ministry of Agriculture to assess the agriculture production level now. Currently, we have the Ghana Buffer Stock, the National Buffer Food Stock Company, which as of 2012, they have about 33,000 storage capacity. Now, as of 2019 June, they were looking at about additional 50,000 of the capacity. So that was June to 2019. Right. And I understand the Ministry for Initiative, Special Initiative gave an award contract for them to construct all these additional warehouses. I'm believing that by now they should have completed most of this thing, because you see, life is about timing. I see. It is how you time your economy, you deliver on time. But again, if they have achieved that, then again, we are sure that one, the maize, the cowpea, the rice, and everything will be there. Right. As at now, Ghana National Food Buffer Stock Company, there are two levels of stock level, operational stock, where they sell to support the company and also to support the food for the schools. And there's the emergency stock. At this point, we need to know the level of the emergency stock. Whether when there's a lockdown for 21 days or 1 month, can we survive?
So what you're saying is that if all of these things is not done, you are not advising that we lock down.
Yes, because if you are not careful, you crash. Because as of now, when you Ghana import cover, when you say import cover, the monies that you have that in case of a crisis period, once it's severe, how long can take care of your economy? And as a 2020 budget, the figures that came was around close to 4 months, between 3 to 4 months import cover. Meaning that the government can support us for us to about 4 months. So for me, at this point, the short term is 1 month. Anything beyond 2 to 3 months, I class for long term. Once we get to that long term situation, can we sustain the lockdown?
Again, you have not answered. Should we go for a lockdown?
I will advise we go when immediately within the next 24 hours. The Ministry of Finance, the economic management team should tell us the state of the Ghana buffer stock issue, the state of food supply services, and whether even the farmers should be engaged to know even production, whether at this point they've planted certain commodities, certain seeds, and it's at a certain level that you can harvest in the worst case scenario. So this assessment needs to be done within the next 24 hours so that when there's a lockdown, we know that essential services will also come in to support the economy. Other than that, by the time we finish, we'll be in serious crisis because businesses are also going to suffer in terms of revenue. Even the tax revenue is also going to go down because how do we get businesses to get a tax and then to support various consumption activities that the government will have to engage in for the lockdown?
So you are expecting that the Ministry of Finance speaks to
an economic management team and Ministry of Agri.
Okay, so you talked about buffer stock. How about Ghana Water Company Limited? Again, I read some items on one of these pages. Ghana Water Company should consider opening taps for those of the people who are owing. Also, Gridco VRA ECG must ensure there's continuous supply of power since most institutions will be working from home. What all of these?
You see, all that you have said now, excellent, is finance. Whether government can provide the necessary stimulus or the financing for Ghana Water to provide these things for free. Because at some point, there are countries that have announced the free rent, have announced $1,000 per citizen, and also, and so there must be some announcement. So the issue has to be the cost, the implication.
So what it means is
assessment.
That, okay, quickly, finally, if we do not answer all of these questions adequately, what it means is that once you lock down, you're going to have an adverse effect.
There will be a worst case scenario because you get to a point that the food, the essential services will not be there.
Wow.
And so therefore we need to do an immediate assessment. The next 24 hours, I expect the Minister of Finance, the economic management team to assure us that they've done some critical emergency discussions that we know that if you lock down for 21 days, we can support the economy. When we do 2 months, we can support the economy. When we do 3 months, so if you give a timelines and the level of support. What I know that our import cover is between 3 to 4 months, which means that when there's a case, worst case scenario, the economy can support us for 3 to 4 months. As compared to 2016, that was about 2 weeks. And so we've done some level of work. I'm not saying that we have not done much, but you see, it's about timing. I said somewhere in some of the media houses to say that we have 63 years and we have missed a lot of opportunities to deal with this economy. Why? By now we should have achieved 70% of our infrastructure.
I see.
Then our resources now geared towards what? Social interventions. You realize that now there's a lot of social interventions because people need it. But if we have not achieved our infrastructure well, then all the funds will be going to infrastructure and then social interventions will be suffering. But now we are doing both. And so the growth is slow. Thank God we have all the policies implemented. I'm praying that this coronavirus is a wake-up call.
I see.
That we will look at our local economy.
All right.
We'll look at the 1D, 1F. We'll look at the dam, one district. We'll look at the planting for food and jobs. We'll look at
and
the
not
food.
Forgetting our health services.
It's serious because the pharmaceutical industry must look at the local production of certain essential drugs.
I see.
And so we must believe in ourselves. Look, we have people with PhD professors, we have doctors, we need to think.
We need to think, and that's what Kingsley Hayford, a chartered accountant and of course an investment banker, says. We'll take a break here. When we come back, News Hour continues.